I had boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend. I mean, that just sounded really bad. I was a slut, okay? We're gonna cut that part out because that was just fancy. Okay. I want to have sex till I'm dead.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
Hi guys, it's Candy. Welcome to Candy Unwrapped. Today I'm going to talk and say hi to Jerry. Say hi to half his face. Just say hi. Today we're going to talk about 5 tips to a long, healthy relationship. And just so you know, Tom and I will be married 6 years this Saturday. We adore each other, we love each other, we respect each other, and that's great, but we've also gone through a lot. We've had great, incredible times, and we've had really, really difficult times. We get stronger and stronger, even though it can feel like sometimes we take 2 steps, ahead, and then we take 10 steps back. But ultimately, it's just even more appreciation for one another. Anyhow, what I want to say, my first tip is communication. You must be able to communicate. That's the heart and soul of life. Communication. We communicate with our friends, with our family, with our jobs. And I came from a family of, if I dare say, over communicators. There's no right way or wrong way. It is what it is. It's just finding the balance where you can learn how to communicate. And by learning, did you communicate when you were young? I mean, just simply asking a simple question. Communicate simply. Find out with your partner. Are you comfortable talking about your life, talking about your emotions? They'll know, and I think that's key. If you can communicate, you are starting off really great. Let's say I cry a lot. This is the truth. I cry a lot, and I needed to tell my husband because I felt like I just wasn't happy with the reaction. And it turned out there was a whole thing behind his relationship with crying. So it was great that I learned that, because now I already felt better. But then I said, please hold me. I don't need you to talk. No talking. Just hold me until I'm done crying.
Come here and give me a hug.
Usually it's a few minutes, not even, because I'm getting that feeling of the strength and knowing I'm not alone, and that helps me. So that's an example of just how simple your questions can be to each other. And I know, again, that might be very, very hard, but also remember, people in general tend to create scenarios in their head of what they think their partner is thinking and feeling and doing.
You hate me. You hate me.
You hate me.
No, I don't.
And they're building up all these kinds of resentments, and they're not just asking. Just simply ask. Because I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you're probably wrong, and your partner was probably thinking, again, of all these scenarios that were not true. If you just talk to each other and you're like, oh, okay, so that's why I felt this way, and that's why you felt that way. It's just something that practice, I guess. Practice learning, how your partner likes to communicate and what works and what doesn't. In time, you'll find out. But anyway, so that's communication. Super, super, super important. The next thing, you have to respect each other. And even again, you have to respect people. It's essential. We don't know what people have gone through. We may meet them in a certain point in our lives, and we have no idea about what went on beforehand. It's really nice to learn by communicating. If you respect someone you love, I do think it's so much easier to communicate. You're able to talk, I think, freely without feeling like you're going to be judged. Communication and respect. The next thing that I also think is huge is forgiveness and how to let go. What I mean by that is if you really love someone and you respect them, but something happens, and it's usually the most random thing, like, I can't find my shoe, we're gonna be 2 minutes late, I can't find my shoe, and then you're in the car driving to wherever you have to be, and you're like, like freaking out at each other.
Did we just lock our baby in the car?
Did you put the keys in the bag?
I put the keys in the bag. That's what we
Mitchell, I
always
told
put
you not to put the keys in the bag.
Out. Come on, don't freak out.
Oh, Lily, it's okay.
A, B, C.
What are you singing to her? People get arrested for this.
Usually, it's a buildup of non-communication if that happens. And also, guys, for whatever this is worth, the pandemic, I really think for myself, and I can only talk about myself, it really put back into place perspective of what's important and what isn't. It's practice every single day. I mean, your whole life you're trying to become a better person. Getting angry at someone, whether it be that you are the person you're angry or the other person is angry at you, whenever the dust settles, I think it's important to talk about it. A big important thing is when you speak about forgiveness or how you were hurt, that it's not just what you were telling them, but it's why. I felt hurt that you told me I didn't look good. I don't know. You have to follow it up with why, because that's not going to land necessarily that well. She'll get over it, right? Well, if you follow it by, I've struggled my whole life with feeling insecure about everything, and that just for me is a trigger, learning your trigger points. And then they have more compassion and understanding to say, okay, so it's not necessarily that it was that specific that I said she didn't look good. There's a lot more invested in that statement. This is not by any means like Tom and I are just the most exemplary couple of all, but we've figured out, and we can talk to each other, and we do all the time, because I'm that type of person that if I immediately feel not right, I've got to get it out of me so that it's not sitting in my chest. I don't want to build resentment. I don't want to be angry. Life is way too short for that. So my next tip is great intimacy. Now, guys, I know where you immediately went to. Sex.
Oh, sex, definitely sex.
Not to say that it shouldn't go there, but I just want to explain that intimacy can be different things for different people. It's not always sex. Sometimes it's just having an amazing conversation with your, partner. Or I like to get naked and snuggle with Tom and watch TV, and that to me is just, sometimes he won't know, but like I'll just have a tear coming down my eye because it just feels so good, and I feel like so close. So there's a lot of different ways of being intimate, and all of those ways help with the actual act itself. Woo! And let me tell you something about the act itself. I am now at an age, I'm going to be 51 in a couple of weeks, and nature takes its course. You can't stop aging, which you don't want to, because then you're dead. But I've dried up. I need now lube, but not like a little, like a bottle. And that's okay. Go to your gynecologist. Go to your oncologist. Is it oncologist? That's probably, I don't even know. That's probably the wrong doctor. I'm thinking for a man. For a men, this is what they do. When you get older, things are not the same as they were when you're younger, on very much a male level and very much a female level. So it's trying to figure out, it's okay, because it could all be fixed. It's just playing a game. My last and final tip. Hold on. The fifth tip for me is loving your partner completely while understanding one another. Being mindful of what makes them, their trigger points, and to try to remember what they are, try to be extra sensitive when it comes to things that you may not think it's a big deal, but to them it is. So understand your partner and love them fully. Love them for everything they are. We are not perfect in any way. If we understand that and we know that there are imperfections in both people, it could be worse. Or maybe, you know, through all these different tips, you'll learn maybe you don't want to be with someone. That's why in this pandemic, I think divorce rates have gone up a lot, or people get married. You know, it's a lot. It's staying together. It's hanging in there. And guys, I wish you luck. I hope that this helps you. It's in my life every day. I just think I don't know how I would do anything without this. So if you wouldn't mind, I would love to hear what your tip is for a great long-lasting relationship. And if you could write it down in the comments, that would be amazing. I would love to hear that, and maybe we can come back and have another conversation about this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. When you see your partner, if you have one, tell them something amazing about them that you don't usually, or not, whatever. I love you guys.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.